Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about in the video? There's another paid request, this time from Johnny. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this time, Johnny wanted me to do a commentary on the original Stream, which is actually appropriate since Stream 6 is going to be coming out soon, sadly. Great. Ghostface Takes Manhattan. I didn't even like Jason Takes Manhattan. And I like Jason more than Ghostface, so this will be great. But the Stream 5 was so good. But I paused the beginning. Let's get this show on the road. And if anyone requests pretty much any type of video, feel free to send it. PayPal's usually the best bet, but links are down below in the info box right under the thing. Let's just get into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. Enough of this masturbatory advertising. Dimension Films. Uh-oh. That's Weinstein. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Stream. I actually like the way Stream looks on the poster, like title font a bit better. Drew Barrymore. Which, from what I understand, when she was hired, she was actually going to be the lead, Sidney. And something happened. I think like her schedule got a bit busy. So then she could not do it. But she's like, well, actually, let me play the lead here. And it'll be a bit of a psycho thing where you think she's the lead and she gets killed. And like, wow, a big star like that who was prevalent on the poster. At least one of the posters. There's the poster with just the mouth, but there's also the poster with all the characters, and she's pretty prominent on it. And so people assume she'd be in it more, and then she was, and they go, "Oh wow, they killed Drew Barrymore. They killed the girl from E.T. and Firestarter and such." Although in 1996, was she still a big star in 1996? I mean, I know she was in that film Never Been Kissed. I don't remember when that came out. Charlie's Angels came out after this. But yeah, I mean, Stream, what can be said? Came out in 1996, came out in December when it debuted. It debuted at like number 5 or so. Like it didn't debut as that big, and people thought it was DOA. People thought it was done like Last Night's Dinner. And that's it. It's a bomb. Oh, another Wes Craven bomb. Because Wes Craven's career was not going too well. Even though I think Wes Craven's New Nightmare is a great movie. Has some dodgy special effects in the third act, I will give you that. But I think it's a very unique take on Freddy Krueger. I really enjoy that. That's actually one of my favorite entries in that franchise. But that didn't make money. Not a whole lot of his stuff made money. I mean, People Under the Stairs made a little bit of money, but it wasn't like a gonzo blockbuster. Even before that, like Shocker disappointed, although I love Shocker, but that was supposed to be a franchise. It didn't. So, okay, it's another bomb for Wes Craven. It flopped, but then it did one of those things where word of mouth spread, and it didn't lose money. It made the same money. Then it made a bit more money, and then by the time it was done, it made like over 80 million, and then they re-released it so that it would get over 100 million. And right then and there, it's like, wow, this film is such a huge hit. It was like a $15 million budget horror film, or the hit thing again. So then you had Stream 2, Urban Legend, I Know What You Did Last Summer, even films like Cherry Falls, and yeah, I said Urban Legends, Valentine. So yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And of course then Stream 3, and then that's when it started kind of dying out again. Yeah, but also Halloween H2O was came to be, The Faculty. I mean, that's more sci-fi, but let's be honest, that got made because that would never have been made if Stream wasn't such a hit. You had a hip new cast, put them in a predicament, only that one's a bit more body snatchers. Didn't Kevin Williamson have a hand in that as well? And then, like, after a while, Kevin Williamson kind of disappeared. You didn't really hear from him anymore. I know recently he wrote a film called Sick. I think it's like a slasher film that takes place around the pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. That idea just doesn't interest me at all. Just the less I think about that pandemic, the better. But I know Kevin Williamson, I mean, he was a fan of slasher films and he wanted to have a slasher film that had characters think like him, who knew about these movies, that knew these movies existed, that knew about the rules and tried to play up against the rules. Like, right, I never thought Scream was scary. I never thought it was scary, but I thought it was interesting. It was clever. I liked a lot of the cast. Neve Campbell, I enjoy her. I think she's very strong as the lead, Sidney. David Arquette is fun. Same with Jamie Kennedy. Matthew Lillard is having a ball. Even Skeet Ulrich, he's not too bad, and he definitely has a more than a passing resemblance to Johnny Depp, which makes sense because they're doing. You'll see a scene that's reminiscent of A Nightmare on Elm Street. I do remember the first time I saw this was on VHS tape, actually. And I remember just, seeing my fair of slasher films and being like, okay, well, it's decently violent. I know the uncut version, I think that was only on Laserdisc for a while. I don't know. I mean, they didn't put it on the Blu-rays or anything, the full uncut version. I don't know why. But I think in the more uncut version, you see a little bit more of his guts falling out. I know Wes Craven had a battle with the MPAA because it was too intense. It was too intense. It was too intense. So Wes Craven was pulling his hair out with the MPAA. I remember when I first saw this, one of the things that interested me was the questions, and the questions are based on horror films. I'm like, okay, I hadn't seen that done before. Name the Kill on Halloween, Name the Kill on Friday the 13th. I know Kevin Williamson, I remember there was an interview he said this kind of came about because he was in a bar or something, and he actually won some money because, like, stumped people. So he was like, okay, Michael Myers, they're very sure of themselves. Now, name the kill on Friday the 13th. They assume it's Jason, and it's not. It's Mrs. Voorhees. Now, of course, hardcore horror fans knew that question. They knew the answer to that quickly. But the mainstream, that's the wrong answer. Then you should know Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees, was the original killer. Jason didn't show up until the sequel. Yeah, I think in this, all you didn't see. Okay, you see a little bit there. See how I like a weird, like, it had it up close to his face? I think in the uncut, you actually see it falling out. You see the guts falling down. While here, you just see them resting in place, like the aftermath. But, like, when he's doing this, I think you see a wide shot with the guts, like, falling down a bit. I mean, it's definitely a memorable opening sequence. It's one that people remember to this day, and they try to replicate in so many other films, and it just isn't as effective. I think they had some other ideas for the mask. I forget what they were, but then they settled on Ghostface, which I mean I don't think is a scary mask, but it's a memorable mask. Like it's a mask that people do remember. I always thought the costume kind of looks goofy, all in black, and the ghost stuff. Like I said, I never thought it was scary. Like the Michael Myers mask has a little bit of a creepy factor, and the Jason mask is just iconic and something intimidating about it. But Ghostface, I'm like, with the mouth, I see you. Yeah. But I like the look as it looks interesting, if that makes sense. It doesn't look scary to me, it looks interesting to me. Obviously, the whole cloak is to hide their body for the murder mystery aspect. Which I thought that it was fairly effective in this first part, was that murder mystery aspect of not knowing who the killer was and not knowing who to trust. Everybody is a suspect. See, she should have just made a run for it while he was all the way over there. She should have just made a run for it. This is her mistake. Stopping there. And why stop there as well? I mean, all these mistakes, which would lead to her death. Yeah, work on that cardio. Now, originally of course, the original title was Scary Movie. And from what I understand, Kevin Williamson didn't have a lot of money. And so he was adamant to get this done. So he did Scary Movie. And then I guess he had a treatment for Scary Movie 2 and 3. I mean, how much of that was, I don't know. And then it got turned into Scream, and I know they didn't like the title of Scream. They thought Scream was a bad title or a wanty title, but I think Scream works. It's short, it's effective. When you say Scream, it gives like a bit of an impact of notice. I think there was a film before that had the title Scream, like way back in the day. Like 1981 or so, but it's a film like no one remembers for good reason. But I mean, it's a short, effective title. Scary Movie, I get why that title, they would want that, but Scream kind of evokes more of the horror, like, impactful feel to it. So I do think it was for the better to call it just Scream. And plus, it works for the tagline, don't answer the phone, don't open the door, and no matter what, don't scream. I think also this revealed Drew Barrymore in the uncut version, which much slower pan. That's why you see kind of this weird, like, fast forward when you see this. You see, like, it goes really quick. Like, see, it's, like, really kind of wanty, like, fast forward. I don't think it originally was supposed to be fast. I think it was supposed to be much more slower. And then I'm sure they had to quicken it for the rating. And here we have Neve Campbell. And here's the thing, like, Steve always going to pop in, kind of like how Johnny Depp would pop into Heather Langham's room in Nightmare on Elm Street. As Steve Ulrich, like I say, he does have a nice passive resemblance to Johnny Depp. No, he's the father. I don't know why for splits. Well, I know why. For split second, I kept thinking it was going to be the guy from The Burbs. I can't believe I forgot his name. Rick Dukeman. Because he was the dad in Scary Movie, the parody of this. And Rick Dukeman, I loved him in The Burbs as Art. And I want to kill everyone. Satan's good. Satan's our pal. And like I said, very soon after this and other films were hits, they did Scary Movie. With Tina and Ivory Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, and, take a piss out of these movies that were becoming a new thing. And then that became a franchise that ran its course badly. Because Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2, I do like. Scary Movie 2 is actually my favorite of the bunch. Scary Movie 3, not a fan. Scary Movie 4, horrible. Scary Movie 5, the worst. I'm sure they'll one day try to reboot Scary Movie. Like, right, I don't know many people really talk like this. Like, does anyone really talk about, hey, we're edited for television? We're edited for television. I don't know if anyone's ever talked to their girlfriend and said, it feels like we're edited for television. But, I mean, it's a movie. Have you ever said it to your girlfriend? We're edited for TV. But I mean, it's meant to be obviously movie-centric. People who know about movies. Bit different type of dialogue. Neve Campbell, I know she was in The Craft. I see Skeet Ulrich was in it too. I had seen The Craft. I don't know if I saw that before or after this though. And Neve Campbell was on a TV show, like Party of Five, something. I never watched the show. But she had a sweet but strong nature to her. She worked very well as the lead and very valuable to this movie and this franchise as well. I mean, where she says, would you sell for PG-13? But I remember the murder mystery being interesting, and also, here's the thing, the PG-13. What does that mean? But, what was I going to say? I forget what the hell I was going to say. It'll come back to me. I like the soundtrack in this too. Marco Beltrami, who had not done much. I mean, his career was kind of going nowhere, and he did a fantastic job in the score. Do 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 do. He did a very effective score. That's Linda Blair, I think, in the purple there. I think. I know Linda Blair's here as a TV reporter who worked with Wes Craven on a TV movie way back in the day. And this is Courteney Cox. Well before the surgery, plastic surgery, she looks so much better too. Like, don't get plastic surgery on your face. It never looks better. That's the thing. That's the ironic thing. They do this as if they think it's going to make them look better, and it never does. It never looks better. It always looks worse. It always looks worse. So why do people keep doing it? It never looks better. Stop it. Courteney Cox, you look fine. You look good. Plastic surgery just fucks people up. It's like Escape from LA. With all those people doing... God. Shit. And of course, she had talked to Rose McGowan. I didn't even do that on purpose. My body literally, my mouth farted at the notion of Rose McGowan. If you heard that, my body went, like my body had a mouth sigh. Just Rose McGowan, I didn't mind as an actress. I don't know what happened to her. Like, Twitter, all their stuff. She went insane in the membrane. I don't know what the hell happened. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's a whole 20, 30-minute thing to look into. But she just went absolute. She's just one of those people that all goes on Twitter and men are bad and all this other stuff and just talk about people toxic are, but then it's like look in the mirror, babe, babe. Of course, we had Henry Winkler, the Fonz himself, as the principal. Interesting choice. And originally he wasn't supposed to die, but apparently the Weinstein said, we need a kill. Okay, fine. Well, who can we kill? Henry Winkler, kill him. And then that also found the reasons to why the kids leave at the end. Because the principal's body's hanging up? Oh, we gotta go check it out. So that's why a lot of people leave at the end there, so it gave a reason to it. Not many times you hear someone say fuck rad. Matthew Lillard and Jamie Teddy worked really well together. I wish we could have seen more of them working together. There's this bit, and there's a bit in the video store. They really worked well. They had great chemistry with each other. And you watch this a second time, you tell like Skeet Ulrich is almost telling Matthew Lillard, "Shut up! Don't bring it up again. You'll spoil it." I'm not saying you had a good cast in this. You had a really good cast. Oh, another thing I was going to mention, I just remember the whole murder mystery thing. It just never occurred to me that there would be two killers, and I thought that was such a unique thing for a slasher because it was rare. Like you think of, there's well, unless you count Friday Five, there's one Jason, there's one killer Michael Myers, there's one Freddy. Okay, there's gonna be one Ghostface, there's one killer. But the idea of two killers, number one, it makes sense because that's how they teleport, but they don't. There's just two of them, so that's how they could get to here and here at the same time. It seems like they come out of the woodwork. And number two, it just made it a bit different, refreshing. That okay, yeah, it's two of them. That's a really nice place, though. That has to be hella expensive. I mean, how the hell do you afford? Like, look at this. Like, this is like a mansion. That ain't a house. It's a damn mansion. Like, and like, what the hell does the dad do to afford all this? I'm like, holy shit. Maybe the dad is dealing with drugs to be able to afford this. Cocaine, smack, crack cocaine, something. Had to be some kind of funny, drug business. They they try to make the dad like a red herring, but I don't think a single person ever believed that the dad was doing it. Just like probably the most obvious red herring. I thought the one they did a good job with though was Skeet Ulrich. Because you think he did, then he gets arrested, and then she gets the phone call, and then you think he gets stabbed. I thought they did a nice job utilizing that. Of course, we got Courteney Cox. I mean, this is in this sort of the era of the young hip cast. So you have this lady who's a party of five. You have Courteney Cox, who's on the TV show Friends. You got David Arquette. And Arquette had done what? He had a bit role in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a few other stuff. Jamie Kennedy had not really done anything. I think at this point, studio wanted like Seth Green or Jason Lee. Because Jason Lee had been part of Mallrats, Tim Smith film. Seth Green, they wanted to turn to a star, and he was in films with. When was Tan Harley Wait? Can't remember. Might have been after this, or I can't remember. But yeah, Marco Beltrami did a wonderful job on the score, and also I liked a lot of the songs. You know, the Red Right Hand, or when the party just started. Youth of America, do 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 do. But I really do like the song at the end too. Whisper to a stream. They're just children. But yet throughout the film, it's just this heavy reference of movies. Like there was All the Right Moves, Tom Cruise. And that's sort of the point, is that this is the era where the kids had grew up with video stores, VHS tapes. So incorporate into the movie that this is what this audience, this era did. That's been part of the culture, the pop culture, part of the vocabulary of kids. What movie did you watch? This and that. Someone's taking the love of horror movies one step too far. I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but there are some people that blame these movies for copycats. Let me say something. As the movie suggests, and it's right, movies don't make psychos. Movies can make psychos more creative, but they don't make psychos. If you did not have this movie, those people would have done it a different way. They would have seen a different movie. They would have seen Bambi and a hunter killing Bambi's mom and go, wow, if that hunter could kill someone as innocent as Bambi's mom, then I could kill an innocent mom as well. Like, it could go any way, shape, or form of a deranged individual, deranged thought process, deranged person. They could get inspiration from anything. If it's not from a movie, it's from a cartoon or a TV show. If it's not from them, it's from a comic book or a book. If it's not from them, it could be anywhere, shape, or form. It could be watching the news, and they're against the war. They're against this and that. Inspiration will come from anything if the person is that sick, or that deluded, or that delusional, or that evil. It's not the movies, not a video game. They use that as an easy crutch, an easy scapegoat, but that's what it is. It's a scapegoat. They blame it on something else because they don't want to blame themselves, because they don't want to look into their dirty, fucked up souls. Or their deranged, ready for the institution souls. Or their fucked up brains, or their fucked up lives, or their fucked up brain deadness. It's not the movie's fault. It's the person's fault being a complete, utter psycho. Like I said, I think Neve Campbell did a really good job. She hits all the emotion points fairly well. You buy her as being strong, you buy her as being vulnerable, you buy her in all the aspects. She's able to fight back. I remember a story he told about how in Swamp Thing he had filmed a bit where Adrian Barbeau trips and falls, and that his daughter was very young and turned to her dad and go, Dad, we don't fall like that. We don't trip like that. So that's why soon after he made a Nightmare on Elm Street and the character of Nancy being a strong, and again, what she was saying before, big-breasted girl that can't act that goes up the stairs they're going through the front door. It's insulting. Now, there's always such a weird thing with these doors that to have, it's like really bad construction. Like to have two doors where a closet opens that way and to close down the door of the other way. God, this old school version of online. Be very different today's age, where you'd have a cell phone and contact them very quickly. Doesn't like something fall? There you go, the phone. Thinking it's him. And maybe she was right, it was him. And that's the thing, when you rewatch this at the end, you go, okay, who was who? I think they do mention who killed Drew Barrymore, that might have been Matthew Lillard character. Like that, was that Skeet Ulrich chasing her? Was that... Oh yeah, I think we were introduced to David Arquette. There you go. Yeah, this is the first scene of David Arquette. Really, the first actual scene of David Arquette, like 30 minutes in. Like really, like you didn't know much about David Arquette until right here in this scene. And I always liked David Arquette. A lot of people don't like him. I do like him. I've always liked him. I think he was a good note on a lot of the Scream films. I think he did a good job in... Ready to Rumble is goofy, but I could have some fun with it. I did love the You Can't Kill David Arquette. That came out recently. Well, recently, a few years ago. That was a very solid take on him trying to get back into wrestling, but also maybe a bit of him wanting to save face for his own being, his own self-worth, all that jazz. I thought it was a very uplifting story. Trying to think. And then what they did with him in Scream 5 was so insulting and so annoying. So fucking irritating. And it's sad that the one person that's going to be in the Scream 6, like Neve Campbell, I know she's not coming back for money issues. Good. Don't come back for any. Scream 5 sucked. They killed David Arquette. Why do you want to come back just to either do nothing, sit on the sidelines, or get killed off? If I was David Arquette, I would not have done Scream 5. I'm sorry, I would not have done Scream 5. Well, we need to kill him off so no one would be safe. Yeah, anytime they do that, and then that never comes into plan of, well, now this and this and this person dies in the same movie. No, by the time you do that, then it is safe. Because a lot of times when that happens, okay, now you know the others won't die. Oh, they killed off Jamie Teddy. Well, now the other three won't die, and they didn't. Well, David Arquette died. You don't know who's going to die. Well, Neve Campbell and Courteney Cox didn't die. So it just... Even that becomes pointless in whatever they're trying to utilize in the suspense of, you don't know who's going to die next. Yeah, I do. Because they don't kill two or all three of them, because they know they go overboard and piss off the audience. Because if Scream 5 killed all three of them, you think it would get the high marks by fans? No. I still don't get why it gets the high marks from fans. I really don't. I really don't. I think Stream 5 is the worst of the franchise. I don't care for the take on toxic fandom and trying to stick up for people like Ryan Johnson and trying to have a scapegoat of, well, if you don't like the film, then you're just like the killer. Not liking the film doesn't mean you don't try to go and kill someone. Give me a break. If you're that delusional that you think those two are the same thing, you really do live on a bubble. Not in the bubble, on the bubble, between the bubble heads and someone's bubble knockers. Where the hell you live, and get your head out of it. And get some air. Because your brain is depleted of the brain cells. Your brain cells need air if you think that way. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Tic Tac bar you're smoking. Not supposed to smoke those things. You're supposed to eat them. And the way they just did David Arquette's character dirty in that movie was so fucking insulting. Insulting. Of course, Loomis, like Dr. Loomis and Halloween. And like they try to make this sheriff red herring. You know it's not him because you looked at the size of the guy. You looked at the size of the sheriff, how wide he is, how tall he is. You know he's not the killer. You know the dad's not the killer because that'd be like a disappointing adventure. In a way, that's kind of what happened in Stream 3, where they go, that guy's the killer? Although I do like Stream 3. I still do. But yeah, with David Arquette, just it's not it's not just that they killed him off, although that's a big part, but all this stuff, Stream 1, 2, 3, 4, surviving all these years, almost getting killed here, almost getting killed there. This is when you can really give the character the shine, make it his own, don't have Sidney in it. Have it be like, I'm not going to get Sidney involved. She's safe. I'm going to keep her safe. It could be a story between David and Courtney. They're not together anymore because in real life they divorced, but they're still remaining friends. And David Arquette rises to his potential. He's no longer the dim-witted guy. He's learned from these movies a thing or two. The killer, he's the dumb guy. He's the teen shit cop. He's the loser. He's the one that always gets beaten up or almost killed. Now it's going to be his time to shine. It'd be a redemption story. Oh, here's a guy that's in a trailer. He lost his job because he wasn't deemed a sheriff. So this other lady from Stream 4 is the new sheriff. And he's looked at as a loser. He's looked at as a bum. He's looked at as all intents and purposes useless. And he shows his usefulness by what he's learned in these 4 films, helping these 4. And he's the underdog, and he comes in to save the day. Any last words? You hear David Arquette, yeah. Aim for the head. And then David Arquette shoots the killer in the head. Because that was a reference to Stream 3 with, aim for the head. Neve Campbell has to tell him. So this time he doesn't need anyone to tell him. It could be 2 killers if you want to. He fights off one. He shoots the other. But I'm sorry, that's me wanting to give respect to the character. I know, shame on me. This is not interesting, Matt. We're gonna have instead this girl who's the daughter of Loomis and sees his fucking ghost. Dressed up the same way he is at the end of the first movie. Because apparently if you're the daughter, you just see the fucking ghost of the fucking dad. We gotta do that way, Matt. That's so much better. So much better story. These people can't act for shit. who are fucking wooden and boring, who have no charisma, no personality. That's who we need to get. Because it's Stream 5 and they'll eat it up, which is true. Like Folgers in their cup, they ate it up. Of course, that's Liev Schreiber on the news as the prisoner, which he comes back in Stream 2 and 3. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of these folks went on to huge prospects. I mean, like David Arquette went on to do stuff like Ready to Rumble and C-Spot Run or something, and WCW Champion. There's Linda Blair. So maybe it wasn't her earlier in the purple. That was Linda Blair though. So forgive me. I might have been wrong on the purple. I thought it looked like her, but that was Linda Blair though, who David Arquette stopped, the reporter. So forget what I said earlier about the girl with the purple outfit. I thought it looked like her, but that was definitely her. She did a TV movie, Summer of Fear or something, with Wes Craven directing. Early TV movie. Sorry, I'm looking at the dialogue here. But I hated the way just hated Stream 5 so much. I'm not a fan of Stream 4 either. But sadly, I would take Stream 4 over Stream 5. And why should I care about Stream 6? I'll deal on that. Why should I care about these new characters that did not make a fucking pimple on the ass for me on Stream 5? Unlikable, wooden, boring characters. I'm supposed to care more about this lead who keeps seeing Skeet Ulrich, and they try to de-age the guy's face that looks just weird. I'm supposed to care more about that? And oh, Ghostface is in the city. He was in the city called Hollywood in Stream 3. People forget about that. He was already in the city. Oh, we get to see him with a shotgun in a convenience store. Great, bring in the RoboCop to stop him. Give me a break. Give me a break. But yeah, just not... I mean, I reviewed Stream 5. I stand by everything I said in that video. I remember there were a couple people that got pissed saying, you sound like one of the killers. I mean, okay. You have any actual dialogue about why you liked the film? How it wasn't a disservice to David Arquette's character? How Neve Campbell literally had nothing to do in the movie? She was there to help sell tickets. That was her job. Her and Courteney Cox was there to be in the background, see David Arquette's dead body be rolled away, and sell the tickets. Because nostalgia sells. And it worked. Which is why you got a sequel literally a year later. Not 2 or 3, a year later. Like how quick it was. Tired of these franchises way past the expiration date. Some would argue you only needed one. And they got a point. Scream 2 I'm not big on. Don't care for what they did with Jamie Kennedy's character. Scream 3 I liked. It has its issues, but I liked the film. It's got Creed in it. What if I liked Scream 3. I liked that David Arquette had a bit more to do. I liked it taking place on a Hollywood studio lot. I liked we get to see a bit of the movie within the movie being made. The reveal of the killer was a bit wah, wah, wah. Like, eh. It was kind of refreshing there was only one killer, since all these other films are two killers. Henry Winkler is pissed. Maybe this is how he was talking to Tom Hanks on Turner and Hooch. Just Henry Winkler was supposed to direct Turner and Hooch, and 2 weeks later he got fired. And later he said, well, I got along better with Hooch than Turner. So apparently him and Tom Hanks did not get along well at all. At all. And because him and Tom Hanks didn't get along, Henry Winkler got fired, and they got what Roger Spottiswoode. So I just imagine this is him talking to Tom Hanks. Can you imagine if you found out Henry Winkler was the killer? I'm tired of people calling me the Fonz. Fuck that shit. Now this girl is like the ultimate. She's like more of a villain than the killer. This lady that comes out. That's a character that should have been killed off. That's a character that should have been killed off, most definitely. That would have been a crowd-pleasing moment. It definitely makes you feel more sorry for Neve Campbell's character. Fucking bitches. Fucking bitch and bitchier instead of Dumb and Dumber. So the killer just happened to be in this bathroom listening to this whole thing. What did he do? Go in there and stood there for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, hoping for Sidney to come in? What if she never came into the bathroom? He'd be waiting there with his dick out? You know what I mean? And then when he goes out, what does he do? No one would notice him with the costume? I mean, I guess he had the other kids going crazy, but you see how Henry Winkler got pissed off and got the costume, and what if someone else like grabbed him and tried to take him down? Just seems like a very risky proposition to try to kill someone at the school. Well, they do kill the principal, and somehow got the principal's body out of the school and hang on the fucking football goal post. Now, what if she closed that bathroom door and yelled, "Get the police, the killer's in there! Get the police, the killer's in there!" I guess there'd be the window he would have escaped from or something, I don't know. But with all these damn reporters, would they have been in front of the school? And I don't know. Maybe not. David Arquette does a good job. It's just a very likable, lovable type of character. This is why, I mean, he was supposed to be killed off, and it's like, nah, let's let him live. Which they did on Stream 2 as well, and then that's what I liked in Stream 3 is like he got to kill the killer. You know, shoot him in the head. Like, that was satisfying. But, nope, instead, he gets divorced from Courteney Cox's character. He lives in the trailer. He loses his job. He's too shitty to be a sheriff. He's too much of a loser. And then he gets fucking killed off by what you find out is a 80-pound girl. What the fuck? And yet, if I don't like the film, you have to kill us. No, I don't like shitty writing or ways characters you like get thrown into the fucking dumpster. That's what I don't like, pal. Okay? That would be what do. What do you do with that? I don't know why I decided to go a bit of Ben Stiller there, but I did. Fuck it. Neve Campbell, I mean, she went on to do what? Honestly, I can't remember what she went on to do. Was she in a film called Drowning Mona? And, of course, the Scream sequels. Matthew Lillard, I mean, he went on to do a few films with Freddie Prinze Jr., Summer Catch, Wing Commander. He was in that film 13 Ghosts, which I liked, the remake of that. And then he did Scooby-Doo. As Shaggy, he was the best part of that movie, and then did the sequel and voiced Shaggy in a lot of the cartoons, a lot of the animated stuff, and sort of made a career, I mean, voicing the Shaggy character in a lot of pieces of media. Because he did a really good job. Like, Casey Kasem will always be the original Shaggy, of course. My favorite Shaggy, but Matthew Lillard did a great job. So this is Wes Craven playing Fred, the janitor, with the clear Freddy Krueger garb. That's a cameo that is a bit goofy. I will say, in retrospect, they should have cut that out. That's kind of like a cameo that would be in a parody. Like, that's a cameo that would fit more in a scary movie than this film. Because it's the director, Wes Craven. It's clearly Freddy Krueger's garb. He's called Fred. It's a bit goofy of a cameo. I mean, I love Wes. I miss Wes. That could have been edited out. But yeah, this wasn't the original script, and the Weinstein said we need another kill. So there you go. That is a good shot, though. The image of the eye, reflection of the ghost face. And like I said, gives a reason why a lot of the kids leave the party at the end to go see the principal's body. Rose McGowan went on to be a nut. Skeet Ulrich. I don't know what Skeet Ulrich. Like, a lot of these actors, I can't remember what else they did. I mean, I'd have to look it up. Guess I could look it up. I say the I will say the acting. It's a Wes Carpenter flick. Of course, Wes Craven, John Carpenter. And as a fan of movies, it was kind of cool watches, like getting all the references and like being along for the ride with the characters. Like I said, it felt a bit refreshing compared to slasher films that was around that time. On the video store, I used to work at a video store from around 2006 to about 2011, 2012. I think 2012. It was about 5, 6 years. And sadly, video store closed down like a lot of stores closed down. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon you'll see a video store, but very, very rarely. Because now people are just streaming in other platforms. This is probably one of my favorite scenes. Because I think Jamie Tandy and Matthew Lillard, they worked really well together, and that's why I wish we could have seen even more of the two of them together. There's always some stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend. Simplicity. If it's too complicated, you lose your target audience. I love Lillard's laugh here. Because he's probably dead. Bob popping up in the last reel somewhere. Eyes gouged out, fingers cut off, teeth knocked out. Always off track with this shit, man. If they watch prom night, they save time. There's a formula, a very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect. And he was right. He was right. And this is kind of a mimic of the end of the film. Skeet Ulrich on one side, Matthew Lillard on the other, when they have Sidney. And kind of a mimic of that. And here's the thing, like Randy, Jamie Kennedy's character, was right. The dad was a red herring and Billy was the killer. It's just he didn't know there were two killers. Red right hand. And Wes Craven, I didn't even talk much about him. He is one of my favorite directors. Definitely one of my favorite horror directors. I miss the guy. When he passed away, it was very sad. Because I've seen interviews and listened to commentaries. He always seemed like a gentleman. He always seemed like a nice guy. Like a scholarly, like a scholar. Like a teacher. And he was well spoken, well mannered. And a lot of people, not a lot, but there once in a while someone's like, who's a guy you would like to have talked to? I'm like, not really anybody, because either I don't care to, or they seem maybe grumpy or stuff. I think Wes Craven would be a good answer for that. Like, John Carpenter's my favorite director, but I know he could be grumpy. Which, hell, I could be grumpy as well, so I guess I could relate to it. But Wes seems like a nice enough guy. I would love to have chatted with him. Maybe over a case of Mellow Yellow or something. Chat with him about whatever. Honestly, I probably want to shout out Shocker, People on the Stairs, Super in the Rainbow. I want to ask him, like, the Super in the Rainbow shoot. Shocker, how much I'm a fan of that film. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, all that jazz. But I love Nightmare on Elm Street's a classic. I love Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Shocker is my personal favorite. Serpent the Rainbow and People on the Stairs would be in my top three after Shocker. I'm not sure if I like Serpent the Rainbow more or People on the Stairs more to be 2 and 3. Wes Craven's New Nightmare would be up there for top 5. And then either this or Nightmare on Elm Street for number 5 spot. Of course, each time he does a cigarette, David does the ice cream, mimicking it. See, now he got a puff of smoke, then David Arquette has the ice cream. He throws the cigarette down, and then he throws the ice cream down. I think he does. Maybe he doesn't. I guess he doesn't. Youth of... yeah. Oh, yeah. Gale Weathers. What a name, by the way. Gale Weathers. I mean, your last name is weather, and your first name deals with the type of weather. Gale. Gale storms. I mean... surprised her name was a Stormy Summers. I'll just say that'd be in a name for a character. Stormy Summers. Youth of America. Boom, da, 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 da. And yeah, pretty much the last 40 minutes take place in this location. Which is one of those things you don't realize, and then you go, wait a minute, that's true. Like, the rest of this movie takes place here. That's crazy, but that's true, and it didn't feel tiresome. Like, God, we're at this location. Oh, and then they'd go back here at the end of Scream 5. Ooh. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. I'm getting fucking sick and fucking tired of nostalgia. Listen, I love nostalgia as much as the next guy. Gal, both, and neither. I mean, hell, I got a Cobra poster. Around it, I got, the Beavis and Butthead DVDs, and Breakdown with Kurt Russell, and Evolution with Dave Duchovny, and The Golden Child, and Simpsons, the older seasons, and Chuck Norris movies, and there's a Leviathan poster, there's a hard-targeted laser disc, there's nostalgia everywhere. PlayStation 2 games right here. Knock on wood. And just because something's new doesn't automatically make it good either. It's like everything. There's a balance to everything. If something's nostalgic but works out well, I'll say it. If something is new and it's shit, I'll say it. Skinamarink is new, but it was a bunch of dog piss. Actually, dog piss would be stuff happening. And more of a reference to horror, Jamie Lee Curtis. Now you see... she was nominated for Terror Train. What was she nominated for in Terror Train? I don't know what he's talking about there. Nominated for Terror Train. And David Arquette just says the puppy doe eyes. But yeah, I mean, in the 90s, like you said, he had the damn nipples for days. But you notice that Matthew Lillard was the one that told her to go get a beer, so that kind of led to he knows she's going to be there. So I think you can guess that this is supposed to be Matthew Lillard as the killer. Because again, he told her to go get the beer, so he knows she's there. So she's the one, I mean, he's the one that has fun with this. Although you have a person with a body like that, why would you want to hurt it? Tell you about Rose McGowan, she may be full of shit nowadays, but does have a beautiful body. I'll say that. Again, like, what if someone had heard her and heard all this ruckus? I mean, I know it's a pretty big place, and there's a bit of noise going on, but especially if you would hear, when you hear the garage door going apeshit crazy like it does when she gets killed, I mean, it'd be too late, but at least someone to investigate it. Well, I mean, you ain't in the sequel. You ain't in the other four sequels. Well, now five. Because it's going to be Stream 6. But yeah, Wes Craven had a lot of those 90s films that, like I said, people on the stairs, I don't know if that did anything. Wes Craven's do Nightmare, Sally didn't do anything, and so this definitely helped. And then Scream 2, Scream 3, they were still massive hits. And West had a franchise. You had a franchise that was successful to carry him through. Yeah, that movie Cursed, which was fucking cursed. I mean, God, that Cursed, man. That's a whole shit show onto itself, man. Complete utter shit show. God damn. This is definitely a different type of a death. I'll give the inventiveness. Obviously, a fake head for that crush. Like I said, at least kudos some inventive quality to it. Or maybe it was Skeet Ulrich, I don't know. I don't know who's. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was supposed to be T. Raw because there's Matthew Lillard there. But that's why the two kills are kind of a good idea. Where you could explain, like, okay, well, Matthew Lillard was at the party, so Skeet Ulrich could have done this, and then they could have done that, and so, like I said, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Matthew Lillard. I just assumed because it was he wanted to kill his girlfriend. Maybe it's not. Also, I mean, this is another one where it breaks the rules, where she loses her virginity, And a rule, if you're not a virgin, you die, and wanted to break the rules and stuff of that nature. And I said a lot of films. Here's the thing about 90s horror. A lot of people talk bad about it. It might not have done well at the box office, but maybe because I grew up with that era of movies. I mean, by the time 1990 came about, I was 7 years old. That's where I'm really getting to understand movies. Like 6, 7 years old is kind of like the time where I'm understanding what's going on in life and remembering times that I had. And from 1990 onward, every year I could see horror movies that I enjoyed for different reasons. So I see Tremors, I see the original Jacob's Ladder, I see Stephen King's Graveyard Shift, I see Child's Play 2, Exorcist 3. Like, these are all just 1990. And to keep going forward, it's like, okay, well, there's Body Parts or Jeff Fahey, and there's Bad Moon, and there's, what was it, the Child's Play 3, which I liked, and there's Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and there's Jason Goes to Hell, which is my first Friday the 13th film I saw, and there's, the People Under the Stairs, there's In the Mouth of Madness, there's Death Machine, there's Dr. Diggles, there's the Blair Witch Project in 99 after this, there's Stir of Echoes, there's House on Haunted Hill, which I enjoyed in 99, and The Relic, and Mimic, and what was the End of Days with Arnold in 99, and see The Relic, oh, Deep Rising, love Deep Rising, that was 1998. Let's see, Mimic, Anaconda, those are 97. I think The Relic was around that time too. So again, it was all that stuff where I enjoyed a lot of Predator 2, of course. I mean, that's action movie, but there's a bit of horror elements. That was 1990. I think most think of it as an action movie, but pretty badass action movie. And this film as well. So, like for me, I know for the mainstream horror was dead, but not for me. There's a ton of stuff I enjoy, and I would say it's the most underrated decade for horror in terms of, again, Jacob's Ladder to Blair Witch Project to like all the films I mentioned and then some. So maybe it was dire straits for a lot of people, but it wasn't for me. I have plenty that I enjoyed and liked and still like to this day. See, I don't know what they're talking about. There's really no blood in Halloween. Because the guy's like, oh, the blood is too red. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There's really no blood in Halloween. She never showed her tits till she went legit. Of course, the famous scene, The Rules, probably definitely one of the top 3 most famous scenes in the movie is The Rules. Number 1, you can never have sex. Boo! Big no, big no. Sex equals death. Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs. It's the sin factor. There you go. Number 3, never say, I'll be right back. Because you won't be back. Which technically it did work because Matthew Lillard does get killed by the end here. So technically it did. You push the laws, you end up dead. He pushed the laws and he did end up dead at the end. Although there are rumors that, oh my god, they're going to get Matthew Lillard for Scream 6. He's going to be the killer. They have said that like the last 3 movies. It's going to be Matthew Lillard. It's going to be Matthew Lillard. He's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. I'm like, he got a fucking TV smash onto his head. But they still maintain that it's going to be Matthew Lillard. It's going to be such a surprise. Like the killer at the end of Scream 6. Why am I going to give a shit? Why? Why am I going to give a fuck? Like I said, that's what I'm talking about with Scream 6. I, other than people being nostalgic for the franchise, watching it because they watched every film in theaters, I get it, it's a routine. You're just going out for fun. But why do you give a fuck about Scream 6? Neve Campbell is gone. They didn't want to pay her. They want to be cheaping out because she's not going to be the star. It's a new audience, new generation, whatever. David Arquette's been killed off. Like, the most interesting people are dead. The least interesting was Courteney Cox. Now, Courteney Cox does fine here as the bitchy reporter, but if I did a ranking, she'd be, like, kind of lower on the list. Neve, Arquette, Jamie Kennedy, Matthew Lillard, even Skeet Ulrich, I would put above Courteney Cox. But she's the one that's left to be the and I don't care if she gets killed off. That's the thing. At this point, I don't care if she gets killed off. I don't care. Because of that trio, I don't think I'm alone in this. I think Courteney Cox was the least interesting for a lot of people of that trio. And I don't think Courteney Cox being killed is really going to have much of an effect. Because you saw Jamie Kennedy die. I thought this was a good thing to have the John Carpenter music playing. I thought it really helped in this description. So this got the rest of the people leaving there. And yet using, of course, you got Clerks there, Miramax. Got a bit of Clerks there. And yeah, there's a lot of, like I said, I mean, a year later you had I Know What You Did Last Summer in 97. You also had Scream 2 in 97. And I don't mind I Know What You Did Last Summer for what it is. I don't mind it. I wouldn't say I love it, but I don't mind it. What else do you have? I don't love it, but it's watchable. I don't think it's nearly as good as this. Scream 2, there's just certain elements that made me mad about it. Like I said, I didn't care for the way Jamie Kennedy was done in. I know it's been for the surprise factor, but I'm like, that character is a lot smarter to have fallen for that. Especially so early in the film. At least it seemed to me too early. And Scream 3, like I said, I do like the film. I think it's fun. I think it's entertaining. Yeah, there's some stuff like the Jay and Silent Bob cameo, which is weird because you see Clerks there, and then you see Jay and Silent Bob Scream 3. You didn't, I mean, that was the Weinstein's premise to say, hey, put these guys in here. But, and then Kevin Smith returned the favor by having Wes in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they're doing a Scream film, and there's a monkey. Come on, Wes, you're not even trying more. People like monkeys. You see? It was a fun cameo by Wes in that movie, I'll say that. But Scream 4 I thought was just pointless. It does have a great line where Neve Campbell says, never fucked with the original, and kills the killer. I liked that line. And Scream 5 was even more pointless. It just, like, what is even the point of these movies? Like, the whole point of this was to refresh the horror genre to be new and different, unique. And to take a ploy of movies and their love of horror movies and love of scary movies and turn it on its head, where is he even at now with Scream 6? Oh, there's a guy that's collecting all this memorabilia. Great, he's the collector. I'll go watch The Collector and The Collection on repeat. For fuck's sake. I don't need to see a Scream 6 where Courteney Cox looks like she's got a forklift to lift up her face. Where Neve Campbell's not anymore. Thankfully so, because you want to be cheap, fuck you. You kill off David Arquette. These characters, I'm not going to give a fuck about these new characters. I'm not going to give a flying shit. Because I didn't give a shit about them in Scream 5. I thought this was like, oh wow, I really expect him to be the killer and now he's dead. Wow, I'm surprised by it. Skeet Ulrich did a good job acting this out. Neve Campbell especially did a good job. Really sold that fear. Obviously, this is Matthew Lillard. I mean, I don't know if it's them actually in the costume, but I mean, it's supposed to be his character. Boom. This is another thing. It's kind of hard to take Ghostface serious like the other killers when there's a lot. I mean, because he's supposed to be a regular guy, he gets hit like that. He fumbles. He trips. I understand it. It makes it a bit different, but I'm just saying it's one of the reasons why I just don't find Ghostface as scary or as intimidating as other killers. But you know, the whole point is that he's quick, he's fast, he's smart. There you go. Nice stunt there. This is where she finds out what happened to her buddy, Rose McGowan. There you go. Good dummy there. I would assume it's a dummy. Of course, the whole meta where he's telling the character the same thing. Look behind you, and the audience is telling. He's telling the movie what we're telling the movie. Look behind you. So I don't know. I wonder maybe you get the idea that maybe that one was Skeet Ulrich, maybe? Because Matthew Lillard was the one that was trying to kill Sidney, and then I don't know. Doesn't matter. Uh-oh. He ran off, and there you go. Ooh. Nice throat slit. Nice makeup effects there. I think TMB was involved. I believe TMB, Kurtzman, Nicotero, and Berger were involved in this. I believe so. Try to be wrong. Because I think they were involved with the people under the stairs. And I mean, TMB was involved with a lot of projects with John Carpenter, a lot of other directors. So when they were a team, Robert Kurtzman, Greg Nicotero, and Howard Berger. And now they kind of gone off. Like Greg Nicotero was seeing the end of The Walking Dead. on where the other two are, what they're doing. And that's the thing, like, you look at David Arquette in this movie, he really doesn't have anything to do. Well, I shouldn't say, like, it's him, possible love story, but he doesn't. Not really that effective for cop because he just stabbed in the back and you think he's dead, but he's not. But you think he is, and. Like, he doesn't really affect the plot in terms of the killers, it's just. Nice subplot with him and Courteney Cox as their characters. Yeah, Tenny's gone. They killed Tenny. They killed Tenny, damn it. Yep, that's called blood, lady. Get the fuck in the van. That ain't Kool-Aid. Ain't the Kool-Aid man. Jesus Christ. Poor Jamie Kennedy just got the fucking shit kicked out of him there. I mean, she definitely seemed like a character that would have been killed off in another movie because she's the bitchy character that wants a story and cares more about that than human life. And I'm sorry, but you're off my windshield. Like in another movie, she definitely would be killed off, but they didn't, so it made it a bit different. Maybe she should have learned something called a pedal, called a brake. And just her just begging for help, looking for help, and everywhere she turns, people are going up dead. Here comes Dewey, been stabbed. Yeah, I think the audience didn't want him to be dead, so or Wes, like I think maybe it was Wes's decision. Like, you know what, I like that character, let him live. Which worked out for the best. But it didn't matter because it just killed him off. Listen, you don't even. Wes is gone. He passed away. It died when he died. But they don't keep milking the franchise. And my stomach agrees too, because it's just rumbling and annoyance. Like, yeah, I know. I will say, I mean, Wes and such keep the pace going fairly well in this finale. Doesn't feel too. It doesn't feel dragged out. Of course, here it's you don't know who the killer is. Now they're blaming each other. It's like, who do you believe? And here we're going to get the reveal. Where he's going to say the line from Psycho, "We'd all go a little mad sometimes." I do, coming up, I do like Jamie Tate's reaction. "Oh shit." I thought that was a good delivery. That's coming up in a bit. We all get a little mad sometimes. Oh fuck. That's real fuck. Oh shit. Good stunt too. Corn syrup, same stuff they use for Terry. And this is where you realize that, oh shit, there are two killers. I remember when I first saw this one, oh wow, that's really clever. Like the fact, again, just never occurred to me and others that there'd be two killers. I mean, maybe I'm blowing that out of proportion, but like I said, it's a very different take on a slasher. Like I say, usually it'd be one and one only. Unless sometimes you have a family, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's a family, and that's set up from the beginning. Like a family of rednecks or a family of inbreds or a family of this and that, but usually in the Seven Murder Mystery, usually it'd be just one. Tell that the cotton weary wouldn't believe how easy it was to frame him. It was fun. Like Matthew Lillard just having a ball with this finale. He's a lot of fun in this. Like Matthew Lillard just stealing the show in this finale. Your mom ain't Sharon Stone. It's a lot scary when there's no motive, Sid. I remember reading up somewhere that one, like Kevin Williamson, like there were some people that wanted a motive, and there's some people that didn't want a motive. Your mom was no Sharon Stone. So this was his way, kind of putting both in there. Is that you have the killer say like motive doesn't matter, and then he says your mother was with my father, and that's why my mom abandoned me. And then like Matthew Lillard has no motive. It's a scream, baby. Wait, there's more. Man. There's the dad. He's not dead, but he does pop up in the last reel, like Jamie Kennedy said. Now, of course, they haven't killed him yet because they thought that if with autopsy it would show the time of death and all that stuff, decomposition. Kills you. He shoots himself in the head. Perfect ending. I think some of this was cut down as well with them stabbing each other This whole idea is pretty fucked up. Ew. Sorry if you hear my stomach rumbling. I haven't eaten yet, but I'll eat after this. I just laughed because it's my turn. And it's like he's going to get a bit of payback for that. No. Like, no, I'm not going to give you a knife. No. I'm playing the sequel. These days, you gotta have a sequel. Just fucking spitting all over himself, man. Don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. Sorry, now I'm just watching the film. But yeah, I know what I did last summer. I didn't mind. That was '97. Then in '98, you had what, Urban Legends. Houston, we got a problem here. The gun, man. The gun. It's just ain't right there anymore. It's just ain't there. She looked dead, man. She still does. Like I said, Melly Lillard just steals this whole ending for me. Don't have the safety. Doesn't know the safety. Uh-oh. She's missing. But I was saying like other films that came out because of like Urban Legends. I remember liking. I like the motif of the whole Urban Legends background to it. Valentine, I did not care for. I know the killer's wearing a cherub, but it looked like the fucking Campbell Soup Kid. I can't it looked like the Campbell Soup Kid. And there's other stuff in there. I'm like, what the fuck, really? I hated Valentine. Cherry Falls, I wasn't that impressed. I thought the idea of the film was cool, but I don't know. I thought that execution could have been a lot better. Doesn't he say like peer pressure? Hello? Far too sensitive. Your foot hit me with the phone, dick. Love that. And this here. Do you really call the police? My mom and dad will be so mad at me. Dude, I love that stuff, man. That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. I love that stuff. But this thing that doesn't ruin the mood, but it's because of how crazy his character is. It fits with that character. I think here, like, it misses the mark, so it really does hit him in the chest. There's supposed to be a mark that this umbrella or such hits, and I think in one of these is like right there. You see, it's a bit too high. Like on the shirt, it's supposed to hit, but you see the second it hits like right here, like dang, like right there. So that would have really messed him up. Like it's supposed to hit on the chest because I'm sure this protective, but then the second one, like right there. That second hit, and oh, I bet that really fucked him up. I mean, with how stupid the sequels have gotten, I could buy them going, yeah, somehow he survived this. I really would not be surprised. I mean, yeah, sure, a TV fall on your head, you electrocuted. Sure, I guess somehow you would survive. Be like, yeah, he's gotta be alive, man. He got a TV on his fucking head and he fried. But again, they put a damn girl looking at her dead father's ghost, whatever the fuck imagination that was. So if they're able to do that, then what the hell else they could do? Ooh. He's just always getting hit. He got hit by Courteney Cox, got hit there, got shot. I thought it would have been cool if Jamie Kennedy could have at least helped her out in this. But gave that to the Courteney Cox. At least like Jamie like kick him or something, or hit him, or throw something at him. I think at one point there was a scripted ending where maybe Jamie Kennedy got the last shot onto Skeet Ulrich's character. Like something about he tastes the gun, and he says that line about for one last year. Ooh, nice bullet hole, a nice squib there. And there's David Arquette. And I guess they kind of knew that once this is over, the movie's done. There's not like a few minutes. They don't do a sequel bait, and there's no sequel bait ending. There's no cliffhanger ending. There's no put something in there for a possible next installment. The movie's done. It's over. Don't pass on by to the sun rising. It's a new day. Nice shot to end your movie on. And I like the song. I also like that each person gets their sort of cue card, their credit, which you don't see a lot nowadays. But like at the end of Predator, you had that, and Con Air did it a year later, where each person has their face and their name attached to it. The Weinsteins. Well, I mean, what could be said about Harvey Weinstein that hasn't been said? That's all I can say on that. But I like this song. We're just children, whisper to a stream. Probably my favorite song in the soundtrack. Petrucci, the editor, he would go on to be a director. He directed My Bloody Valentine, the remake. and Drive Angry with Nick Cage. Marco Beltrami would go on to store Mimic. I think he worked a little bit on Halloween H2O, I believe. Because I know there was one store and it got replaced. Like John Ottman and Marco Beltrami, I think. David Arquette. I think they did this alphabetical A, C, Campbell. Courteney Cox, another C. This time C. Yeah, alphabetical by last name. Like I said, I think the song works for the film, and I guess they ended there, and then okay, now throwing others like Jamie Kennedy, which at the end he had a small part in this, but he really made a big impression because a lot of people could relate to his character. I think a lot of people could relate to his knowledge of horror movies, being the nerd that didn't get the girl. Like a lot of people related to him, and that's why they felt pretty bummed out when Scream 2 he got killed off. At the same time, other people liked it because they thought it was a ballsy move. But I don't know. Roger Jackson is the phone voice, which I mean, you hear him like even sounds so old because he is old. But yeah, I'm just not looking forward to the new one. I don't think a new one needs to be made. I don't think a new one needs to be done. It just doesn't to me. It just doesn't need to be done. Doesn't need to be made, in my opinion. The franchise is, well, I mean, it made money. What can I say? It made a lot of money. That's why they do it. So, what can you say? What can you do? It made a lot of money. It made a lot of bank. That's what they care about. And that's what it is. So, what can you do? What can you do? So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks once again, Johnny. And we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.